Hello friends! It's nearing the end of March and spring has been really starting to peek out from the rain clouds over here, and it's been so nice. I still have a lot of free time, which I know not everybody does, but it's been so nice just like really focus on changing season and like doing special activities that like feel appropriate. I've been having a great time just focusing on experiencing spring and preparing for the arrival of real spring. So I wanted to talk about some of my favorite activities, some of my favorite signs of spring, things that I think really encapsulate the season, or yeah, just like nice things to do. And so I thought I would do a video with a little homework for you if it's spring where you are, some things that I think you should do that will augment your enjoyment of the season. Have I mentioned I have so much free time? Learn to make flavored simple syrup. This one came to me from Tom. They had food grade lavender where he works, and all day he was like, I need to buy that, I want to buy that and make lavender syrup. So he did, and he gave me some, and he used it to make gin and tonics. And it just felt so like fancy. It's so nice to make a special little drink for yourself, especially if you don't drink. It's a nice way to be like, this is a special drink because I made this syrup for it. So yeah, Tom made the lavender syrup, and then I was like, oh Hannah, you saved all those peach and cherry pits in the freezer from last summer for syrup. And she was like, yeah, you can make it if you want. So I made stone fruit syrup. It was so fun. So I love super basic recipes like that. It's like, whoa, did you know you can put pits in water and sugar and it turns into a delicious flavor? So that's been very fun. And then I also put some in a bottle, gave back to Mia and Tom. Yeah, I think it's a really fun activity. You can use so many things. Lavender, stone fruit pits from the freezer. What are your ideas? What would you like to make a simple syrup out of? Use it to make lemonade. I'm not drinking a ton right now, so I was like, what else can I make with this syrup that they're making lavender gin and tonics with? So I made some special lemonade. So lemonade is a really nice, fresh, sunny drink that you can basically flavor with anything. Bought some lemons cheap at the store, just juiced one straight into a cup, added a dash of the stone fruit syrup, and added water. Another very simple recipe, so fun and special. Obviously, spring cleaning is a thing for a reason. The sun is coming into your space, you want to freshen it up. I recently rearranged my room, and that involved a lot of kind of clearing out and realizing all the corners where I was hiding a bunch of garbage, so I kind of got it out into the open. It's like, this doesn't need to be just sitting here. So that felt very good to kind of realize where the mess was and deal with it a bit. Feels really good to clear out the things that are no longer serving you. Friend Natania's moving, and she lives close to a women's shelter where they do like a store, set up like a store, but it's free. So she brought some stuff over there, and it feels extra good to get rid of your things when you know they're nice things someone else will like, and it's not going to like make money for Value Village or something. Nice to clear out, get rid of stuff, wipe the windowsill that's covered in plants so you never clean it. Eat outside as much as you can. Obviously picnics are really fun, and they've been very popular this past year and very good. Especially last spring, Hannah and I would make our food and then just carry it all outside and sit right outside our window on a little blanket. That was so nice. But that can be kind of a bit of an ordeal sometimes. We do have some little stone steps outside. I'm pretty sure I always put them in videos, but it's so nice. We can just open the door and go bring your smoothie or your cereal outside and just sit there, especially in the morning. Get some like fresh morning sun on your face, be out in the world as you're eating your breakfast. And if you don't have like a little accessible outdoor space, like at my old place I would never go into our yard because I was so scared of my landlords. And just sitting by the window while you're eating, or like having the window open to get some breeze in, so nice. Makes your meal feel like a little more intentional, like, ah, I'm sitting down, I have the window open, time to drink my special drink. So I would recommend getting as much outdoor air as you can. Take lots of photos. I know obviously everyone takes so many photos all the time because we have smartphones, and sometimes I'm like, oh my god, I have 7,000 photos on my photo, what even are they? But I think it's a really nice time to have lots of photos of little memories and stuff, especially when we're gardening a bit later into the spring and summer. It's so cool to have like weekly photos you can kind of go through and be like, oh hey, look at this plant was this size and now it's this big. And just, yeah, having memories. Yeah, so I would like to be more intentional about one, taking photos, and two, curating them in a way they're accessible and not just a bunch of garbage on my phone, like maybe printing some, or of course posting them on Instagram where I'm much more likely to go back and look through them. A new thing I think it's mostly a new thing, something I've been doing the last few weeks that I think is so fun is when I go out on my walks, which I do a lot of, just walking around the neighborhood, I pick up any flowers that have fallen onto the ground. Obviously I'm not going to pick flowers that are in a public park or someone's yard, but sometimes a lot of the cherry blossoms will fall out of the trees. You can just kind of pick one up. The other day I found a daffodil head that had been cut and was on the sidewalk. And it's kind of nice to be out on your walk and you're just like, I'm holding a flower in my hand. And you can either leave it somewhere where someone will see it and be like, oh, someone put that there. Like we have some little traffic cones on our street that are nailed onto stumps so they're visible. And I had a little stick from a cherry blossom tree that had fallen, so I stuck it in there so it's like a little bouquet. And then a few days later I walked by and it was still there, so hopefully some people have seen that. Or some of the other flowers that are kind of weird because they don't have a stem, so you can't put them in a vase or anything. I just kind of float them in our containers where we're propagating plants, so they're looking nice, extending their life a bit. Just hanging out. I figure if it fell on the ground, anything you do with it is just like, oh, that's a little bit nicer. And of course you could press them. I've never been great at pressing flowers. Doesn't seem like something you can be bad at, but plant something you can eat. I know lots of people have houseplants, they're great, but you've had those all winter too. I feel like a fun way to get into the spring swing of things is plant something edible, because then you get to watch it grow and be like, oh, now it's ready to eat, have a mini harvest, and it's like more of an active process that you get to participate in. Obviously, if you have an outdoor space like we so luckily do, you can plant whatever you want basically. But if you only have like a windowsill or a pot outside your door, we have been regrowing our green onions when we cut them, which is very good. You don't have to buy them, they don't go all slimy in the fridge. They're just growing on the windowsill, and whenever we need some, you can just kind of pinch it off. And also, whenever Hannah cuts leeks at work, she takes the bottoms home, so we've planted some of those in the garden. Very fun to make food out of garbage. Oh, speaking of, save veggie scraps for stock. This is an idea I'm super into. I'm just not in the habit of doing it. So I'd like to be better about maybe clear some space in the freezer, have a Ziploc bag or whatever, so anytime you have like onion skins or ends or whatever, freeze them up until you have a bag's worth and you can make stock. I think that's such a good, again, good way of making food out of something that wasn't necessarily food. Same as the like stone fruit syrup. And I think those things are all very in the spirit of spring. Like being more conscious of your consumption and like what you use and what you can use more and stuff. Bird watching. What I've been enjoying is the birds' sounds. I love going on a walk and hearing all the birds chirping. There are some places around here like bird sanctuaries where you can go and see lots of cool birds, which is obviously very fun. But mostly I've just been enjoying whenever I go walk around the neighborhood, I basically always see a hummingbird, and that's always something about them is like, oh, I spotted you. Very fun. They are your neighbors. They also live in your neighborhood, so it's nice to pay attention to them, kind of see what they're up to. They're always, I think if you stop and watch a bird for a while, you'll always see it do something very funny. I was at a park the other day and there was a crow collecting twigs in his beak, like a little bundle of twigs, and it was so cute. And then he flew away and left them all there, and I was like, why were you doing that, silly crow? Deliver food to your friends. This has been Hannah's big thing lately. Whenever she makes like some cake or some soup, she'll pack up a couple batches of it and see who's like home and wants some, and kind of go on a little bike trip to deliver them all, which I think is so like nice and thoughtful. And then sometimes other people in exchange will like come drop something off for her, or like bring her a snack when she's at work or something. It's a very nice way to connect with your friends, I think. Like, I thought of you, I made this for you, brought it to your house. Pack a park bag. I'm already in the habit of bringing way too much stuff with me everywhere I go. Usually I'll bring like a sketchbook and some drawing stuff, but in the spring especially, I like to, like when I was working, have all my stuff, so if maybe on my way home from work, I could stop at a park and kind of be set to hang out for a bit. So I like to bring my backpack, which fits lots of stuff, have a picnic blanket so that you can kind of sit down, settle down, be like, I'm sitting here, I'm hanging out for a bit. Something to do, whether it's like art stuff or a book or like a crochet project. I know my friends are not big on like stillness and quiet. Like they always like to have music when they're walking or busing or whatever, which is a normal thing. Me, I'm the weird one. I will just sit on the bus in silence and like hold my hands on my lap. But if you don't like that, it's nice to have something to do while you're sitting at the park enjoying the sun and the birds and stuff. Oh, and a hat. As soon as the sun comes out, I will never go anywhere without a hat because I have a mole on the top of my head and I'm so scared about letting it get sun. So I will not let that happen. So some of those things I'll just keep in my bag when I'm going out anyway, in case it's suddenly so nice and I want to sit down. But if I'm packing for the park, I might also bring like a little snack. And of course, when it's nice out, I usually bike as much as I can. So I've got my whole milk crate so I can fit lots of stuff in there, like bringing food to somebody. That's all I've got for today. I hope this was inspiring to you. You're gonna go outside, do something fun. I'd like to hear what everyone is making and doing, and tell me about a funny bird you've seen lately. Okay, thank you, goodbye.